Hey guys, Barry at CTech-review. I got a fun one for you guys today because I am super confused on these two 2025 Mavericks behind me and the pricing. I like both of them. Maybe you guys can educate me on what's going on here because I'm a little confused. Let's do this. Okay, so what do I mean specifically? So first off, let me first talk about my opinion on the Maverick. I think it's awesome. For someone that just needs a truck bed for just general payload, they don't need a huge interior, they're on a budget, they're not towing more than a 4,000 pound trailer regularly, and they want fuel economy, man, I've been a huge fan of this, and I think a lot of people have, because this is why these trucks have been sold out for like 5 years. And for 2025, the changes that Ford made on the Maverick, specifically this one, is a home run. Let me show you what I mean. Before we jump into the specifics on this truck, why this is the one I'd go with versus any of the other ones. And by the way, if someone wanted to say, what's the difference between a 24 and a 25? Well, first off, look at the fascia. Look at the headlights on the 24. Look at the grille. Look at the lower fascia. There's a big difference. But it's not just that. The interior is quite a bit different. The infotainment's a little bit easier to use on that. Side profile, really no difference there. Tail lights, I don't even think anything's changed on the rear of these trucks. Stamp tailgate's the same. Tail lights, shape is the same. Bumper's the same. I don't see anything that's different there. But here's what I'm confused about. So before 2025, when you're in, I'll call it this version, not generation, because they're same generation truck. If you wanted a 4,000 or 3,500 pound tow rating, you were forced into getting the 2-liter Ecoboost. And what made these trucks a home run, for me at least, was a fuel economy with the hybrid engine. The hybrid engine only came in a front-wheel drive. There was no all-wheel drive option. So for someone like me that lives in the Midwest, inclement weather, or you use your truck, maybe you go hunting, maybe you want to go camping, maybe go dirt biking, maybe you live on a rough road and you need some extra four-wheel drive off-road capability, you had to go to a 2-liter Ecoboost. Maverick all-wheel drive hybrid was not an option until 2025. Ford listened to the customer and took a truck that was already popular and took it to the next level. But why it's even more awesome is the difference in fuel economy when you go from the 2-liter Ecoboost to the hybrid. Here's what I mean. So this is the same generation truck, and we'll get into some of the options of what confuses me about the pricing of these two trucks. This has got more power. This is way more peppy. This little 2-liter Ecoboost and a lightweight little Maverick, this thing actually does really good on power. But I want to show you something here. When we look at the fuel economy, because that's really what we're after today, 25 mix, 22 city, 30 highway, okay? That's what we're going to talk about right now, is specific to highway fuel economy. So you got 25 mix, 22 city, 30 highway. Now this version here, same model year, both XLTs. This version gets 37 mixed, 40 city, 34 highway, but this is the hybrid, all-wheel drive. So you literally pick up 12 miles per gallon in the city, and you pick up 12 miles per gallon mixed driving with this. This is what makes this thing a home run. I mean, if we go back just 10, 15 years ago, you had to get a Prius to get 37, 40 miles per gallon. Now you can get a pickup truck that's all-wheel drive and has got a 4,000 pound tow rating. I think this is one of the best value vehicles you can buy for 2025 and 2026 if you're into this segment and want a pickup truck. Because a truck like this is, I think this one's specifically $39,000, plus there's some other employee option pricing, but let's just call it 36, 37 grand. Dude, what can you get for 36, 37 grand? I look around here, those Explorers, even the base models are gonna be $45, $50, $55,000. Bronco Sports, more money. Full-size Bronco, F-150, forget it, dude. An F-150 XLT 302A, you're gonna be $55,000. And you're gonna get 23 miles per gallon. But someone that just wants a little truck, I think this is awesome. And honestly, I would seriously buy one of these things. Do I need an RHO? No, I love my RHO. But if I wasn't towing and going off-road, I would happily be in this because this would save me a lot of money at the fuel pump. Here's another thing that I think a lot of people don't know about the Maverick that is impressive. Right here. Do you guys see this number right here? 1,384 pounds of payload. This little tiny truck has just as much payload as most half-ton trucks. And I'm gonna prove it to you by going into my 2025 Ram 1500 RHO. 1,357 pounds. So this big, expensive 1500 series truck has 30 pounds less of payload capacity than this little subcompact truck. So if I was never towing and I was just maybe loading a four-wheeler or a dirt bike or 1,000 pounds of hunting gear or whatever in the back of this, dude, this is an awesome, awesome truck. And the fact that they added all-wheel drive with a 4,000 pound tow package in the hybrid, home run for 2025. But here's where things get confusing, and this is where I need your guys' help to try to understand this. I'm a little confused on the price between these two trucks. So first, let's just start. We look at both these trucks, you're gonna notice one difference on the front of this. See those things got tow hooks on the front? This one does not. This is not an FX4. This is an FX4 package. Well, what do you get with an FX4 package? Well, you get the tow hooks in the front. You get a little bit different dampened shock. You get a little bit different, more performance tire. So this gets you the Pirelli Scorpion, which I think is a mud and snow rated tire, at least it used to be, versus just some basic Continental street tire, okay? You also get a few more skid plates. You get, I think, a different drive mode. I need to confirm that. I don't know. Let me see if this thing's got a locking rear differential. That'd be really cool if it did. I don't know. I'd have to actually get into the modes and see if it does. But here's where this is confusing. I'm going to show you guys a window sticker here again. 2025 XLT all-wheel drive 2-liter. This has a 302A package. That's important. It's got the FX4 package, $800. Luxury XLT package, $1,890. Copilot Assist, Copilot 360 1.0, $795. Now, this is where it gets confusing. Base price is $29,495 with $4,195 in options for $35,285. Okay, remember that price, 2-liter EcoBoost all-wheel drive, 2025. And this is a 302A. A 302A is a higher package than this truck. Let me show you. So this truck, here we go, window sticker, 2025 XLT all-wheel drive 2.5 hybrid. This is a 301A package truck. It's got the 4K tow package, XLT luxury package like the last one. It's got the Copilot 360, rear parking sensors, power moonroof. Base price is more, $30,645, and it's got $6,780 in options for a grand total of $39,120. This is what I'm confused about when I did this video. What I'm confused about is, why is this truck with an FX4 package with a 302A versus a 301A? Why is this truck $4,000 less expensive than this truck? And this truck has a lower trim package and it doesn't have an FX4. So my theory on this is you're paying more for the hybrid engine. I guess that's no surprise, right? So if you don't need the FX4 package, that's an $800 option. You're telling me I can get the 2-liter EcoBoost and a higher trim interior for $5,000 less than that? Now, $5,000 in the grand scheme of things, especially when we're talking about Super Duty for engine upgrades, dude, the high output diesel is $12,000 more than the standard gas engine. So $5,000 doesn't maybe seem like a lot, but when you start talking a truck that's $35,000 versus $39,000, we're talking a massive difference. That means this truck is literally like, what is that, 15% less expensive than that? Kind of interesting. I would be inclined to get this, and I think Ford is capitalizing on most people want the hybrid because, dude, 12 miles per gallon in savings when you calculate your fuel economy over the life of this vehicle, man, you could be talking $10,000, $15,000 or more in fuel savings versus this one. So I don't really see the point, to be fair, unless Ford is just trying to discount the 2 liters. I don't know. And this is what I'm saying, guys. Am I missing something? Why is this truck $5,000 less than the hybrid? I just don't get it. But let me show you some other changes here of why I like the Maverick. Okay, First off, in full transparency, this is a bright blue. I don't know what I think about that. If you're a blue fan, you're gonna like this because this is blue. But the seats are actually pretty comfortable, and there's a really good amount of, I wanna call it like height, okay? So here's what I mean. When I sit in here, dude, there's a ton of ceiling height here for a guy that's 6 foot tall, and look how much room I got in this area. Now, let me show you the second row. I have a ton of room up front, and I still am not touching this second row seat. This is wild. If I were in a Ford Ranger, this would be darn near the same amount of legroom and probably less. And then check this out. Headroom. You can legitimately put 4 full-size, 6 foot tall, 200-pound men inside of this thing and have a ton of room. This is why I've been impressed with this. And that's not just it. When we look at the interior, what makes this thing so awesome is all the space that goes underneath. And I always forget how to do this. Let me see. There's a bunch of storage underneath this second row because it's not built on a traditional ladder frame like a traditional pickup. This thing is based on a car platform, so you can sink things down and raise things up. So it just proves the point. This is not a heavy-duty half-ton truck, or even a Ranger for that regard, but it's got the payload capacity of a half-ton truck. It's got the fuel economy of a Honda Civic, and it's got the price point that it's not bad. This is a heck of a value truck. So I would be curious to get your guys' opinions. I know these trucks are not for everybody, totally get it. But man, if you really think about it, unless you're like really using a truck towing heavy every single day, I bet you could take 9 out of 10 F-150 drivers, put them in one of these things, and they'd say it's not bad. You'd save a crap ton of money in fuel, and you wouldn't give up payload capacity. You're gonna give up towing capacity. You're gonna give up some interior room. You're gonna give up some amenities. But look at the price point on this, especially one like this. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'd be curious, leave your guys' comments down below. What am I missing on this? Why is this truck literally $5,000 less than the hybrid option? Hey, if you enjoy the video, feel free to like, subscribe. It really helps our channel out, and leave your comments down below.